Hello. Thanks for tuning in to my official YouTube channel. Reverend MeeLing. I've been known by a few names. Reverend MeeLing, Reverend Susan MeeLing, Lady MeeLing, Lady Dori, Belle. I've been known by a few names. I wrote a couple books. Now, this is the only book that was purchased, as far as I know, other than by me, but in regards to through Amazon for a customer to purchase. So I put the big book, Finding a Silver Lining, which actually has specific names. And while there are specific names in this book, it is only the ones that I legally had the right to by technicalities. So I'm going to show the pages because these were, I have to find the files, and to do so would be very difficult because of my issues with technology. And so you can see from the pages as I go through them, I didn't actually out anybody. I didn't have, as far as legal right to. So, you know, the names of it, only in legal aspects do I have any actual names. And so it was not until after what occurred to my Medal of Honor art project and being contacted by, you know, well, I guess technically contacting law enforcement myself, because of my Medal of Honor art project, that I had actually started saying names. So when in Seattle, I only said, I know a guy. Kind of the same way, if anybody actually remembers, when in the state of Texas. So whoever it was that purchased the short book instead of both books, if it was a choice to out others, which I thought that there were, you know, multiple people who had, you know, certain similarities in regards to certain experiences. Maybe not with the exact same person or people. However, having, you know, similar circumstances. Like, I can't be the only person who has dealt with a psychotic ex. I can't be. I didn't think I was. You know, maybe not the exact same individual as far as, you know, certain problems. However, I kind of figured, you know, there were people who would be able to relate to the different aspects. Maybe not in full, the way I had dealt with. However, enough that they would be able to have an understanding. And so, you know, whoever it was that purchased that one book, the short book, once again, if they utilized the information that I wrote in a, just a, you know, I can look at stuff and you know, in certain stories, these were told to me as others said it was funny. Other stuff, yes, I could laugh at, depending on what it was. You know, like, for example, you know, I can laugh now in reference to the homeowners association and what I dealt with, you know, because I wasn't dealing with it supposedly any further. But, you know, other stuff, it was just one of those, you know, I didn't think I was the only individual who had dealt with certain circumstances. And so, you know, while there might be some people who believed whoever lied to them that I outed, again, it wasn't until what happened to my Medal of Honor art project that I used anybody's name. And even then, you know, in reference to my Medal of Honor art project, only because of contacting CID, or Criminal Investigation Division, to, you know, let them know about certain things, because, you know, I kind of figured as far as my Medal of Honor art project, you know, it's not that I was at all ashamed of doing my Medal of Honor art project. It was more along the lines of, you know, when I got it to a certain level that I had wanted to, instead of, you know, having to be forced out, because that's what this is, as far as, you know, my opinion, because, you know, my Medal of Honor art project, I had my plans for the way I was going to do it and how I wanted to discuss certain things with certain individuals when I felt that I was ready to bring it forward. However, since obviously there were the issues in regards to, you know, being stalked, harassed in the different areas, I did not actually in any way out anybody. So, you know, if some individuals decided that they were going to, you know, whoever it was, again, that purchased the short book instead of the big book, you know, here's the short book. And you can see there's nobody's names that, you know. Now, at this point, yes, I understand that I obviously have to do the outing aspect. However, the short book of Finding the Silver Lining and the big book of Finding a Silver Lining, those were done in 2014, published in 2014. And so, you know, as you can see, nobody in the BDSM lifestyle, swinger lifestyle, LGBTQP lifestyle, has their name in here except for me. Just me. Nobody else. I mean, I did in the back portion, and you'll see that in a minute, in reference to those who I was influenced by, but in regards to, because there's only a very small section of the BDSM LGBTQP swinger section, there's no actual outing. Like, at all. And while, you know, the aspects of, because of my Medal of Honor art project being stopped and all that stuff, like, for example, Montana in 2017 and that traffic issue, you know, these are like individuals as far as like musicians and different newscasters and just different, like, not just their music, not just what they report, but, you know, the aspects of their lives and what I felt when listening to them. Not to out them, just to, you know, give respect to, you know, at the time that I had written it. So did you see anybody's legal name other than mine? No? Okay. Or any legal name I had the legal right to, such as my son, my daughter, my dead ex-husband? No, you didn't see any. However, some of those stories I was told were funny. I didn't see necessarily how. However, I figured somebody might be able to, you know, see how it would be funny. Maybe. At least I was told. Like, for example, in reference to Cactus Jack, also known as Jeffrey Kirkendall Jr., I was told, in reference to the stuff that I've already discussed in regards to the 151 Road Warrior thing, as far as the Mad Max thing, I told him that it sounded like terrorism to me. He told me it was funny. The only thing I found funny in that reference was what the lawyer said, as far as the e-tool. That was it. Like the lawyer thing, that, you know, because having taken Latin, you know, before my head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000, I thought, you know, the aspects of, you know, and then there have been many people over the years who asked me if I was just born as a lawyer. For example, there was a guy, I actually do not remember his name. However, he was a teacher at St. John Vianney High School. And he had transferred from CBA, which somebody told me whatever in that regard. One day, I went into class and I wanted a piece of candy. I was hungry in between classes. So I went into my backpack and I tried to be quiet during the class and quietly open the candy wrapper. Those who have had candy before, you know that that doesn't go so well. However, it was before my head injury on Palm Sunday in 2000. I was in high school, so, you know, oh, I can be crinkle, 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 crinkle. And the teacher went, Susan! Gosh, how did he know it was me? Despite the fact that I had my hands on the desk and everybody else was taking notes during that class. I already knew the information, so I was like, crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. Susan, what are you doing? I'm opening a piece of peppermint candy. The teacher said, Susan, you cannot have peppermint candy in class. Put it away. Fine. The next day, ready to do the information, so crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. Susan! Yes? What are you doing? Opening a piece of spearmint candy. What did I tell you yesterday, Susan? You said that I could not have peppermint candy. Spearmint. Put that away. You cannot have peppermint or spearmint candy. Okay. Halloween was not long before this occurred. So, you know what Halloween candy sizes are. The next day, crinkle, 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 crinkle. Susan! Yes? What are you doing? Opening a piece of candy? What did I tell you? You said I couldn't have peppermint candy or spearmint candy. What do you have there? A Snickers. Put that away. You cannot have Snickers either. Next day, crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. Susan? Yes. What did I tell you? You said that I couldn't have a peppermint candy or a spearmint candy or a Snickers. What are you opening? A Milky Way? Put that away. You cannot have it. The next day, Friday, crinkle, 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 crinkle. Susan, what? What are you doing? Opening a Butterfingers? What did I tell you? You said I couldn't have a peppermint candy or a spearmint candy or a Snickers candy or a Milky Way candy. This is a Butterfingers candy. You cannot have that. Next week was the same thing with different candy because, you know, Halloween candy. And so by the third week, didn't get all the way through that week. I was having fun because, you know, maybe somebody could see that dominant sadist aspect back then. And so Susan, you better see me after class. Okay. So after class, I show up and, you know, the teacher was like, Susan, I demand to speak with your parents. Why? Why do you want to speak with my parents? Like, realistically, why? Because I don't want to get it, like, why? Like, do we really have to go that far? Do we really have to go that far? And he was like, yes, because, you know, what do you think you are, a lawyer going and having different candy every day? Well, would you like me to tell you what's going to wind up happening, teacher? I can't remember his name. And the guy was like, what do you think is going to happen? My biological parents are going to ask you what you told me, and then you are going to tell them what you told me, and then at the end of it, they're going to ask you, well, why didn't you simply just say you can't have any candy in the class? And then you're going to get angry, and then you're going to go on in a tirade, and then afterwards, they're going to make the suggestion that I just don't have candy in your class. And then you're going to get angry because then you're going to remember this particular discussion. However, if you really want to, you know, have my biological parents come in, which I really would prefer that you didn't because you really don't want to meet them. Yeah, because then Mike, my biological father, is going to get angry. You don't want to see that issue, like at all. And so, but if if you really yes, I demand to meet with your biological parent. Well, he's their parents. All right. Give me my teacher's note to take, you know. And he's like, I'll give you that teacher's note. You know, okay. Gave me the teacher's note. Went back to the house in New Jersey. Here you go. Mr. So-and-so wants to speak with you guys. Why? What'd you do wrong? And so I told them, because I didn't want to get beaten. I learned very early on it is better to tell the truth. Sometimes you'll still get beaten, but it's better to tell the truth and not lie, because then, you know, okay, these were my options. Tell the truth, possibly get beaten, in reference to what I did wrong. Or don't tell the truth, which I cannot tell a lie. Couldn't do it back then, can't do it now. Nonetheless, tell the lie and then get beaten by a lot longer in time, and with more implements, and then be grounded on top of that, and not be able to have dinner, like, at all, but have to cook it. So my math, just tell the truth. hopefully I don't get beaten too badly. Very simple. Especially since I was being beaten for what my biological sister did. So, another aspect. So, the next day when the parent-teacher thingamabob happened, that teacher told my biological parents what I did in class, and Anna asked, well, what happened? And the teacher said, well, on this day I told her she couldn't have peppermint candy. And then Mike said, okay, so that was the end of the peppermint candy, correct? And the teacher said, yes, but then there was the next day. What happened the next day? She didn't bring in peppermint candy, did she? And he looks back at me and I'm like, no, I didn't bring any peppermint candy in. I didn't do that. Teacher said, she brought in spearmint candy. Mike said, that's not peppermint candy, that's spearmint candy. See where I get that from. And it went on about the rest of the stuff. And at the end, Anna said, well, why didn't you just tell her that she couldn't have any candy in your class? I think that would have been more simple, don't you think? And teacher got angry. And then he looked at me in the back of the class, just sitting there. And 3, 2, and... I told... What were you, born a lawyer, Susan? No, I was born as me. That's who I was born as. So, in the short book, I legally have the right to have put as I had in ways that would be as they were. I had no idea it came across as a police report the way they do that, or investigative report. I had no idea about that because I never graduated basic training. So for the United States of America's Armed Forces Army branch, I just, whatever. So in regards to whoever actually outed others, that wasn't me. And if you are angry that you outed yourselves, that's still not me. That's you. So, hopefully that clarifies that. Okay. Thanks. Have a good one.